Welcome to Nell 2 Model Railway. I'm John, ably assisted by Silver, my Weimaraner. You may remember in my last video I started building the platforms and edging the first one with brick plasticard. Obviously I ran out of plasticard and I'm waiting for more pocket money in order to buy some, but I decided that I should go on to try and make the metal girder system that is between the rails and alongside the platforms, which assist in supporting the rails over Old York Road. I also noticed, as you can see from this image, there is some form of metalwork and mesh between the rails, and on reviewing Street View, looking at the underside of the bridge, it was clear that you could see daylight. So I'm looking at that being some form of steel mesh, and I'm going to try and represent that as well. The first thing I did in preparing the track for the steel mesh was to cut away the sleepers, leaving the smallest amount of sleeper and chair to support the rails. From Nelltown 1, you may remember that I made my own drainage grills, and I had a lot left, as can be seen in the next video, and so I had a look at the dimensions of these, and they appeared to fit perfectly between the rails. So I set about making up the steel mesh to go between the rails, and what I did was use 3 of the frames and 3 of the meshes on each side of a solid, what I think is possibly an inspection hatch where engineers can go in and assess underneath or between the two systems. Then, using a 9mm drill bit, I carefully cut a series of holes at each end of the cutout, leaving a solid part in the center. These holes would allow light, hopefully, to pass through from the top of the layout down onto the roadway of Old York Road when the model is finished, and also at night when the street lights are on inside the tunnel of the road. Some of that will have light bleed up through the mesh as well. I decided that I'd build the steel girders in a similar way to Deal Signal Box, and that is to use MDF as a base layer and then apply plasticard over the top of this of various types. So I used 2mm MDF and, as you can see, good old Lightburn to design the base layers. And here are the base layers cut, ready for assembly. From various images I worked out that 3 layers stuck together would form the basis of the main beam structure. I used UHU Glue to stick the base layer onto the plasticard that I was using, which was just plain plasticard. This was done one side at a time, and when fully dried and cured, I cut out very carefully the stuck base layer from the plastic card. I then commenced to mark out some pencil lines on the face of the plastic card that was attached to the base layer for the webs of the girder, and these were made from styrene strip. You will also see at the top of the cutting board, nearest the bottom of the image, 2 white plastic strips, and that is 0.025 plastic card, which was going to be used to provide the top layer running across the curvature and top of the girder. Roket plastic glue was used for this stage. I then followed the same process but without base layers for the girders that are hidden beneath the platform with only one edge showing below the platform surface. I added the top webs to the main girders, which I forgot to video, and also stuck the girders onto MDF bases. Thereafter, I went on to prime the MDF with Rustin's MDF primer, and once that had dried, used Halfords acrylic primer, grey primer, to prime everything before painting. Then finally, a quick blast of black paint thinned down with alcohol at 50-50 percentages. And here we are, test fitted and in place. The girders that are, or beams that are attached to the platforms, have been glued with UHU, and there was a little bit of trimming in order to have the base for those bits fit properly so that the girders actually sat bang on platform level. With the pocket money in, I was able to buy enough plastic card to complete the brick facings on the platforms. I then went on, painted them, and also added a mortar wash. I've not videoed any of that because there's so many videos on the internet as to how to do a mortar wash, but it was a simple acrylic artist's paint mixed down with a fair amount of water and painted liberally over, and then allowed to dry for about 30 seconds and then wiped off, which just toned down the actual red color of the brick as well. I then went on to use the oil brushes and use those to add the dark streaking coming down from underneath the platform top, and I'm hoping that as I weather the track, when I've got things ballasted, there'll be a little bit of overspray at the bottom of the brickwork that will tie things in nicely with the track bed. Well, that wraps it up for this video. In the next video, I'll be looking at trying to do the platform tops again using MDF and the laser cutter. I anticipate a lot of trial and error because the platforms, my woodwork cutting skills are not the best, and therefore, although they look straight, the platforms aren't. Thank you once again for watching the video, hopefully from start to end. And if you do like what you see and want to follow the layout build progress, please subscribe. And if you so desire, please click on the like button and the bell icon so you get notifications of when the next video comes out. Bye for now.